You might think you know Florida because you've seen other videos or my first video about Florida. But did you know this state has a castle built by a single man using mysterious magnetic powers? Or that during winter, it literally rains frozen iguanas from the trees? Today, I'm showing you 30 unexpected facts about the wildest state in the US. Hit that subscribe button to get 3 amazing curiosity videos every week. You won't want to miss the secrets we uncover. Let's start with a secret hidden right beneath your feet. Fact 1. The secret city under the swamp. When you walk through Disney's Magic Kingdom, you're actually walking on the second floor. Because Florida's land is mostly swamp with a high water table, engineers couldn't dig underground tunnels without them flooding. So they built the utility corridors at ground level and covered them with millions of tons of earth to build the park on top. But if you think that's hidden, wait until you see what's floating in the ocean. Fact 2. It rains reptiles in winter. While it rarely snows in Florida, it definitely rains animals. During cold snaps, when temperatures drop below 4 degrees Celsius, green iguanas in the trees go into a state of temporary paralysis. They lose their grip and fall onto sidewalks, cars, and even people, looking completely frozen and dead. But once the sun comes out and warms them up, they wake up and run away as if nothing happened. Speaking of strange things falling into place. Fact 3. The mystery of Coral Castle. In Homestead, there is a massive stone structure built by a single man named Edward Leedskalnin. He weighed only 45 kilograms, yet he cut and moved over 1,000 tons of coral rock without any modern machinery. He claimed he knew the secrets of the pyramids, and witnesses say they saw stones floating through the air. To this day, engineers are baffled by how one heartbroken man built this fortress for a love that never returned. But Florida isn't just about ancient mysteries. It touches the stars. Fact 4. The gateway to space. Cape Canaveral was chosen as America's primary launch site for a very specific scientific reason. Because it is close to the equator, the Earth spins faster there, giving rockets a natural speed boost to escape gravity. From Apollo 11 landing on the moon to modern SpaceX launches, history leaves the planet from this exact coast. It is the only place where you can watch a rocket shake the ground while standing on a sandy beach. And while we look up at the sky, the beaches hold treasures from millions of years ago. Fact 5. The Shark Tooth, capital of the world. The city of Venice, Florida, sits on top of a massive fossil formation. Millions of years ago, Florida was submerged, and giant sharks, including the massive megalodon, hunted there. Today, the waves constantly wash up fossilized teeth onto the sand, making it a collector's paradise. You can literally walk along the shore and pick up pieces of prehistoric predators with your bare hands. But sometimes, the locals make their own history. Fact 6. The republic that lasted 1 minute. In 1982, the city of Key West declared independence from the United States to protest a border patrol blockade. They named themselves the Conch Republic, declared war on the US, and surrendered exactly 1 minute later. Then they immediately applied for $1 billion in foreign aid. They didn't get the money, but the flags and passports are still sold all over the island today. Fact 7. The Florida Wild West. Near Gainesville, there is a place that looks more like the American Wild West than typical Florida. Payne's Prairie is a massive savanna where wild bison and Spanish cracker horses roam free alongside alligators. You can stand on a viewing platform and see buffalo grazing while gators sunbathe just meters away. It's a surreal landscape with over 200 bird species, completely different from the coastal beaches. But if you think bison in Florida are weird, wait until you see who lives underwater. Fact 8. The city of Mermaids. For over 75 years, a natural spring in Florida has been home to real-life mermaids. At Wachee Springs, women perform elaborate underwater ballet shows while breathing from hidden air hoses. They swim in the crystal-clear 72-degree spring water with wild manatees and turtles right next to them. It started as a quirky roadside attraction in 1947 and is now a protected state park. And while these ladies perform underwater, some folks prefer a life in the circus. Fact 9. The town where clowns retire. There is a community near Tampa called Gibsonton, famous for being the winter home for carnival workers. For decades, it was the only place in America with special zoning laws allowing residents to keep elephants and bears in their backyards. It became known as Showtown, USA, where the bearded lady or the giant might be your next-door neighbor. It's a place where the extraordinary is just everyday life. But Florida has legends that are far more terrifying than circus folk. Fact 10. The Florida Bigfoot. The Pacific Northwest has Bigfoot, but Florida has the skunk ape. It is described as a large, hairy, ape-like creature that inhabits the deep swamps of the Everglades. The name comes from the terrible smell it supposedly gives off, like rotten eggs and methane. While scientists say it's likely just misidentified black bears, locals have reported sightings for centuries. If you're hiking looking for it, just be careful which trees you touch. Fact 11. The most dangerous tree in the world. Florida's home to the Manchineel tree, often called the beach apple or the tree of death. Every single part of this tree is poisonous to humans. Eating its fruit can kill you, and if you stand under it during the rain, water dripping off the leaves will burn your skin like acid. Ancient Calusa natives used its sap to poison their arrows when fighting explorers. It's a beautiful but deadly reminder to respect nature. And speaking of deadly things in the water, Fact 12. Sharks in your backyard. You might think sharks only live in the ocean, but in Florida that is a dangerous assumption. Bull sharks have a special gland that allows them to survive in fresh water, and they love to travel. They've been found deep inside the state, swimming up the Mississippi and St. Johns rivers, sometimes miles away from the sea. So before you jump into a dark river for a swim, remember, the ocean might have followed you there. But not everything in the water wants to eat you. Fact 13. The only legal manatee swim. Crystal River is one of the few places in North America where you can legally swim with manatees in the wild. These gentle giants migrate to the warm springs during winter to survive the cold ocean temperatures. They are incredibly curious and will often swim right up to humans, rolling over like giant underwater puppies. It is a peaceful experience that contrasts sharply with the state's wild reputation. But Florida's culture is just as diverse as its wildlife. Fact 14. A piece of Greece in the Gulf. In the early 20th century, Greek divers were brought to Florida to harvest natural sea sponges. They settled in Tarpon Springs, creating a town that looks and feels exactly like a Greek island. Today, it has the highest percentage of Greek Americans in the US, filled with authentic bakeries and sponge docks. You can walk down the street, hear the language, and forget you are in America entirely. And while Tarpon Springs is full of history, the next town is full of chickens. Fact 15. The protected roosters of Ybor City. In the historic Ybor City neighborhood of Tampa, chickens run wild on the streets, and they are protected by law. They are descendants of the chickens kept by Cuban cigar workers over 100 years ago. If you hurt or capture one, you can face a hefty fine, because these birds are considered living citizens of the district. They cross the road whenever they want, stopping traffic in the middle of a modern city. Florida seems to have a thing for small, strange attractions. Fact 16. The world's smallest police station. In the town of Carabel, the police station used to be literally a phone booth. In the 1960s, the police phone was bolted to a building, but tourists kept using it to make long-distance calls. So, the chief moved the phone into a booth on the sidewalk to stop unauthorized calls. And it became his main office. It's a bizarre landmark that proves you don't need a big building to keep the law. And speaking of tiny buildings, Fact 17. The Shed Post Office. If you drive through the Everglades, you might miss the Ochopee Post Office if you blink. It is the smallest post office in the United States, originally a storage shed for irrigation pipes. Only one employee can fit inside at a time, but it serves residents across a massive area of 300 kilometers. Tourists stop just to get their letters stamped with the famous Ochopee postmark, but from the smallest building, we go to one of the biggest. Fact 18. Clouds inside a building. NASA's Vehicle Assembly Building at Kennedy Space Center is so massive that it has its own weather. The building is 160 meters tall, used to assemble the Saturn V rockets. On very humid days, rain clouds can literally form near the ceiling inside the building. It requires a massive air conditioning system just to prevent moisture from raining down on the spaceships. It's a marvel of engineering, but Florida also holds a major title in aviation history. Fact 19. The first commercial flight. Before enormous airports existed, the world's first scheduled commercial airline flight happened in Florida. In 1914, a pilot flew a single passenger from St. Petersburg to Tampa, across the bay. The flight took only 23 minutes, but it changed the way humans travel forever. Today, millions fly into the state, but back then, it was a daredevil stunt. But some invaders don't arrive by plane. They come by sea. Fact 20. The only pirate invasion. Every year, the city of Tampa is invaded by a pirate ship called the Jose Gasparilla. It's not a reenactment. The mayor actually surrenders the key to the city to the pirates. Hundreds of thousands of people dress up, and the pirates throw beads and coins to the crowds in a massive parade. It's based on the legend of a mythical Spanish pirate, and it's arguably the biggest party in the state. But Key West has a legend that is much furrier. Fact 21. Hemingway's six-toed cats. The famous author Ernest Hemingway lived in Key West, and he loved cats with extra toes. Today, his historic home is filled with dozens of cats that are descendants of his original pet, Snow White. About half of them are polydactyl, meaning they have 6 toes instead of 5 on their paws. They are the true owners of the house, sleeping on the antique furniture while tourists take photos. From cats on land, let's look at a statue underwater. Fact 22. Christ of the Abyss. Off the coast of Key Largo, submerged in 8 meters of water, stands a massive bronze statue of Jesus. It is called Christ of the Abyss, and its hands are raised toward the surface in a gesture of peace. It was placed there in 1965 and has become a spiritual site for scuba divers and snorkelers. Seeing the statue covered in coral with fish swimming around it is a hauntingly beautiful experience. But if you want to stay underwater forever, there is a way. Fact 23. The underwater city for the dead. Just off the coast of Miami lies the Neptune Memorial Reef, an artificial reef that is also a cemetery. People's ashes are mixed with cement to create columns and statues, building a lost city like Atlantis. It creates a new marine habitat for fish while serving as a final resting place for ocean lovers. Divers can swim through the gates of this silent city, visiting the memorials on the ocean floor. But some spiritual places in Florida are very much above ground. Fact 24. The psychic capital of the world. There is a small town called Cassadaga that was founded specifically for mediums and psychics. Established in the late 19th century, it is a spiritualist camp where residents claim to talk to the dead. There are no major grocery stores or chains, just historic houses filled with crystal balls and tarot readers. Skeptics and believers flock there every year to see if the spirits will speak to them. But sometimes, it's not spirits that defy logic, it's gravity. Fact 25. Spook Hill. In Lake Wales, there is a spot on the road where your car seems to roll uphill by itself. Legend says it's the spirit of an alligator chief or a pirate fighting back. But scientists call it a gravity hill illusion. The landscape tricks your brain into thinking the road goes up, when it actually goes down. Regardless of the science, putting your car in neutral and feeling it move up. The hill is a mind-bending experience, but Florida is famous for cars moving much faster than that. Fact 26. The birthplace of speed. Before Daytona had a racetrack, the races were held right on the sand of the beach. The hard-packed sand of Daytona Beach was the perfect place for early daredevils to break land speed records. This tradition eventually led to the creation of NASCAR, which is now a massive American sport. To this day, you can still drive your regular car on parts of the beach, just strictly under 10 miles per hour. But while cars are native to the culture, the state's most famous fruit is not. Fact 27. Oranges are immigrants. Florida is famous for its oranges, but they are not actually native to North America. Spanish explorers brought the first orange seeds to St. Augustine in the 1500s. The sandy soil and subtropical heat turned out to be the perfect environment for them to explode in popularity. Now, the orange is the official state fruit, even though it was an imported luxury 500 years ago. But nature eventually reclaims everything, as seen on the coast. Fact 28. The sinking dome homes. Off the coast of Cape Romano, strange concrete domes rise out of the ocean like alien ruins. They were built in 1981 as an eco-friendly luxury home on dry land, but erosion and hurricanes washed the sand away, and now the house sits hundreds of meters offshore. It is slowly sinking into the Gulf, serving as a perch for birds and a warning about the shifting power of the sea. But land isn't the only thing that's big in Florida. Fact 29. The biggest city by area. Most people think of Miami or Orlando, but Jacksonville is actually the largest city in the contiguous US by land area. Because the city consolidated with the county government, it covers over 2,200 square kilometers. You can drive for 40 minutes at highway speeds and still be inside the same city limits. It's a massive urban sprawl that holds hidden gems of nature and history. But the final fact explains why Florida seems so crazy to the rest of the world. Fact 30. The truth about Florida man. Why does Florida have so many bizarre news stories about people doing crazy things? It's not because Floridians are crazier than everyone else. It's because of the sunshine laws. In Florida, all police records and arrests are available to the public and journalists almost immediately. In other states, if someone gets arrested for something weird, the police keep it private. In Florida, it's instant news. So the Florida man isn't a different breed of human. He is just the most transparent one. Florida is way more fascinating and transparent than most people give it credit for. From underwater cemeteries to laws that make everyone famous, it's truly a one-of-a-kind place. And in case you haven't seen it yet, I've already made a video about Florida. If you enjoyed these 30 facts, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next video. And while you're here, check out the video on the screen. You'll love it.